Okay, what I'm going to do is there's a facilitator guide and a youth guide, but I didn't know that this many people were going to come, so there's 25 of each, so if you guys can kind of get them shared amongst you. First, as the packets are circulating, there's like 8 pages in the facilitator's guide and 5 in the youth activity guide. The first one, Smashing Soybeans, is explore what's inside a soybean and understand that soybeans are an important source of oil and protein. That's an industry standard, is we utilize more protein and oil from the soybeans. First off, the kids are actually going to be smashing soybeans. So in every lesson, we set up safety notes. Educate them kind of that this isn't to hit their friend, it's to smash the soybeans. Also, that fingers can get caught under, just simple notes like that. You're going to want to take them either outside or someplace on a floor that's not going to break. It will dent wood and it will break tile. Soybeans are very strong. If you've never worked with soybeans, they are very hard. So they're going to take a half cup, dump them in one, make sure you get all the air out, because hitting a hammer in an air-filled bag with soybeans, you're going to have an explosion of soybeans going everywhere. You're going to stick them in another bag. And all these bags are provided in your kit. And then into the freezer bag.
So we're on a triple bag right now.
We're on a triple bag. There's supposed to be a newspaper, but I forgot to pick up the exponent when I was carrying the microwave. And then you're going to stick them in brown paper bag. And this is all to keep the soybeans contained. And then, have my little handy dandy palette. You're going to sit them down and smash them. They are very hard, but just like Paula Dean, we got some already. So then they're going to break about, takes about 5 minutes for them to take out their frustration. Then we got, everybody gets a mortar and pestle in their thing, which is very exciting.
Can you tip that so they can see what's in?
And then they're going to grind, grind the soybeans up. They are going to dump them in and then out of the microwave.
Oops. Okay, I am not Paula Dean's camera person.
You're going to have warm water. They can also get it out of the tap. But you're going to pour the amount of water you're supposed to. And then they are going to stir it. You're supposed to stir it for 3 minutes. But as you can see, you don't have to stir it for 3 minutes before you start seeing what's happening. See the color change in the water? This is the protein being taken out of the soybeans. The oil and the water are going to separate. You're going to have the soybeans float to the bottom. Then you're going to have a milk layer, and then you're going to have an oil layer on top. But what we've done is they will explore that. They'll write about it. There's questions for them to answer. And then you're going to prepare a bottle ahead of time, but you don't have to smash the beans. We are very, very busy in our office, so I was able to get these soy flakes, where all you have to do is dump a cup in, pour in 2 cups of boiling water, you shake for 3 minutes in the jar that's in your kit, and you're ready to go to class the next day. It just has to be done the night before. Then you can see that the soy flakes are separating out. The milk layer, the top layer is the oil. You get more milk and protein than you do oil. But if you were to dip your finger on the top layer, they're going to see the oil appear. So that's how we separate those out. So that's kind of the procedure. for the smashing soybeans. Okay, the next one is separating proteins. And so what we want them to do is understand.
We're getting asked that.
So we're wanting to understand what is happening with the protein in the milk when it's mixed with an acid. You're going to get tubes, test tubes. One, it's easier. The other thing is it's cool for kids to be able to mix something in a test tube. But you need to make sure to let them know to cap them because we're using vinegar. Vinegar's really not that explosive with the protein, but they're going to just invert it. So have them put their thumb on top of the lid and invert it. Going like this, you're going to have things everywhere. So that's the safety note for this one. You're going to have pipettes in your kit.
Okay, you have to move a little slower.
So you're going to just have them extract the protein, and it tells you how much to get in the recipe.
So you're doing roughly a teaspoon of the protein solution and a half a teaspoon of vinegar. You have measuring spoons in your kits.
Then you're just going to cap it and invert it. And then they let it set for 10 minutes. And they're going to be able to see what happens. So we'll come back to this as we're moving along. But there's going to be 2 layers. As a result of the acid and the vinegar, it's unraveling the protein. And when protein is unraveled, it's no longer soluble in the water. So that's why it's going to settle out to the bottom. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to hydrolyze oil. And we're going to identify the process that happens when oil mixes with sodium hydroxide agent. Okay, there's a little bit of safety with this one. We're using liquid Drano.
The gel form.
The gel form, not the powder form. It's caustic, but it can go down the drain, obviously, because it cleans drains. But when you are working with youth, please think of the age range, because you may want to have yourself, the teacher, somebody else be measuring out the Drano for them. And then there is a set of measuring spoons in your kit. We ask that once you use a spoon for Drano, you label it as a Drano spoon. Eventually, Drano does start to eat the plastic because I didn't clean out a tube that had Drano in it, and it's now corroding. So it does actually corrode things. So please be safe with it. Okay, so you're going to take oil. You could skim off oil off the top, but for your sake, it's easier just to have them use soybean oil. And most vegetable oil here in the United States is all soybean oil. The only thing you have to do is if you don't think or you're not sure, just look at the ingredients and it's all soybean oil.
Also in your kit.
Also in your kit, yes.
You get the liquid Drano and the vegetable oil both in the kit.
And you're going to take a half a teaspoon